Into the light. Let's talk about Litecoin today and dive a little deeper. My name is Paul Barron. This is TechPath. Welcome back. Hey, before we get started, if you're on the channel, you've probably got a notification of this great video, I hope. And if you did, share the video out to some of your friends. It's the best way you can help the channel. If you're new, subscribe right now because this is going to be a ride for you. We cover EV, tech. When you look at autonomy, robotics, and of course cryptocurrency, which is our topic today, let's dive into a thing we call the market mover. The market mover essentially is a compilation of all kinds of research, data sets, and then we blend it all together and hopefully give you some opinion and some news media that can kind of help sustain and kind of move you in the right direction of where your technology journey might be taking you, whether it's on discovery or maybe you're an investor, whatever that might be. But remember, this is not investment advice. We are not advisors. We're not financial advisors. And we always basically ask you to make your own research. And I would ask you also to do a variety of kind of self-correcting in terms of understanding where your sources are coming from. Don't just get with one media outlet, one YouTube channel. You need multiples. Look at varying opinions on things, and then come back and make your own research, and then you can make hopefully some good understanding of where that tech is going, or if it's an investment, where that investment is going. So that's the main thing. Let's go into what is Litecoin. This is one of those things that I think a lot of people don't necessarily completely understand, but Litecoin is a peer-to-peer internet currency that enables instant and near zero cost payments to anyone in the world. It's an open source global payment platform. This is also one of those that wins in the ESG front, meaning it's one of those things that doesn't burn a lot of juice and probably works well with Elon Musk, but it does secure a network and empowers individuals to control their own finances. I like the theory and the idea behind Litecoin. It's been around since really, I would think, around 2017. It had an absolute barn burner period in the last bull run. Litecoin was one of the OGs, and it's definitely one of those coins that I don't think is going anywhere, and it's the capacity for it. My question is, if you look at the projects for DeFi and where we have all these new technology, I want you to remember 2017, 4 years ago, the technology in the blockchain, and I understand these guys are continuing to develop on this blockchain platform, but the technology and innovation that's occurring in DeFi is absolutely unbelievable. And because of that, I feel like you have to really keep an eye on where some of the newbies are in terms of where their blockchain project is going, because there are some out there that are really challenging what Litecoin is doing. So let's just jump over to this little Benzinga article. And I think this kind of says it all. Litecoin and the future of the top 10. Basically, this is an eToro ad. I love that, how they put that right there in the front. But anyway, at its 2017 height, Litecoin was trading at $360 each. It hit a record until May 2021 when it toppled out at the top 10 at the US at $413. Notably, Litecoin is a fresh high and was not much more than the 2017 high. This is notable if you compare it to other coins that ballooned far beyond their respective 2017 heights. And that's kind of the scenario I think that this one plays. The other thing that kind of they talk about here in the Benzinga article is that they don't see this coming back into the top 10. That concerns me when you look at a variety, and there's been several media reports around the concern of Litecoin and its ability to, one, ramp up and more so compete with the amount of competing projects that are going to be moving into this space, because we're getting and nearing what I think is the DeFi second coming. And what I mean by that is that we are at a point where the technology is actually pacing with the application use. This is something that happens in tech often. It happened in the era of the internet. The internet was born and there was a lot of technology on the internet that was actually faster in terms of its development than what the demand was on the open web at that time. And that's why I think you have to be cautious around some of these projects, because now we're at a phase in these developments that they're actually matching with what's going to come and start being utilized in real world applications, especially around DeFi and payment. But I want to kind of look here. This was kind of an interesting piece. Before the end of the year, Yeah, before the end of the year, investors will relearn that blockchain networks are not suitable to displace every technology. In this respect, I think it's safe to say that the terribly named Internet Computer, this was the ICP, will fade away. This was one we just did, if you guys have not checked about it. And its use case is as silly as VeChain. What I'm trying to point out in this is that many of these coins are like this. Now, am I an ICP holder? Yep, I hold ICP. I believe in what they're doing, but I think they are in way too early. Watch my video. Hopefully I'll leave it in the description, or if you just, ICP analysis, YouTube it, and you'll find it. But the point being is that there are several coins out there that have this kind of scenario, and I think Litecoin has maybe had its day in the sun. That's my concern with it. I want to take a look at some of the analysis on this. All right, so I want to jump over here to TradingView and a quick analysis of where Litecoin has come from over the past, little bit of time. This is around May 21st, May 13 actually. 49.06 was its sentiment. Its amplification was on a downward trend at 31.22. You can kind of see the fall. Of course, it matched right up. It was a short miss, but around 128 versus the 119 that it actually fell to. Got a nice little ride out, and then we saw a lot of flatline, and sentiment right now is falling at 42.11, and so is amplification currently. So in the looks, we see a short-term end of June dropping even further than our current price point, which is hovering at around 168 currently on Litecoin. So this is likely to continue its slide through June. And again, I think it's one of those scenarios and one of those coins that is struggling because of, one, its awareness, and really more so because of the competition. Much like companies, if you think about your investment strategy in stocks and any of those kinds of projects and other investment classes, listen, the EV space, which we cover a lot, is exactly like this. Once that some EV company starts to move into a new tech, or they've gone up against a new kid on the block that's recreating the battery tech or doing something in range and technology, and or maybe in even the UX itself, it really starts to create a little bit of a problem for some of the OGs. And I think that's what Litecoin is experiencing, is the amount of DeFi projects that are coming at them. Now, doesn't mean that they can't come out and do something amazing in their project, because that is likely, since they have the best, one of the best development teams, and also they've got experience in understanding this. So they've broke things a few times and been able to come back and keep it on track in terms of their development projects. So that I wouldn't rule them out for, because that is always an outlier in terms of where Litecoin could be rolling in terms of future development. So could they come up and compete with something in the DeFi group as popular as like the ETH layer projects that we've been seeing come through, like AMP and some of those others? It's going to be interesting to watch. But for now, right now, I'm a little neutral on Litecoin, so that's kind of the position. I know you guys are Litecoin lovers out there. I get a lot of Litecoin love and hate, I think. But the reality is you have to be looking at these without any kind of emotion. You've got to look at these much more based on the TA and or the fundamentals that you can in crypto, because fundamentals are hard to come by. So you have to look at where the projects are going for sure. If you're listening over on the podcast, make sure and stay tuned in over there. Subscribe and give us some stars. We love to see that. And if you're here on YouTube, make sure and subscribe to the show. Give us a comment or two. We loved, and I know you're going to give me some good ones on this one, but we love to get your comments. And this is actually how we get a lot of feedback from our viewers in understanding what you guys are wanting to see in terms of more research and or maybe interviews that we have coming on the show. So we've had several of the guys on here recently. I don't know if you guys know Digital Asset News. We've had them on talking things. We've had the Trade the Chain guys have come on. We're going to have a video out for you soon on that one. And we've got a ton of others. We have Into the Block guys that have been on talking about quant data and how it's being used in basically the blockchain data sets and where the future of that is going. Lots and lots here on the channel. If you have an idea for a show, right here, producer at revernetworks.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at Paul Barron. I'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.